What's up guys, my name is Fari and in today's video I'm going to be doing things a little bit different. I'm sat here working and I just thought that I should just take a minute to basically record this video. Just the thought that I had about building through uncertain times. And my frame of thinking around this was mainly came up when I was basically looking at the analytics for the YouTube channel, and I was watching, I was looking, and I was seeing, the videos that I've been posting lately have been getting, one to three to four different views, and that's a lot lower than, what I was averaging before. And it got me thinking, even with just, building as well, and also in like my current phase in time experience as well, just building through uncertainty and focusing on the present as well. I a couple months back or even like a couple years back, I would have, had a completely different mindset. And I think that's just one thing that's happened with me just growing up as well. And just realizing that for me personally, building through uncertainty has been one of the biggest blessings that I could ever ask for. And I realized as well that it's maybe not the case for everyone, and that's okay. I always used to think that, when things are uncertain, that is the point in time where you'd be panicking and you'd, be freaking out all the time. But for me, weirdly enough, I found more joy in it. I found more joy in moments where I've just had to lock in and ultimately just build, because I know that, you know, I'm building something that is not just for me, but is for the people that will ultimately benefit from it. And I think this is also just one of the things of keeping the big picture vision alive that has kept me going. You know, I could have, stopped, recording each and every single day with the daily videos when I started getting no views on one of the videos. But no, we're 128 days or 29, I'm not 100% sure. But we're 128, 29 days in of posting each and every single day, talking about systems, which aren't, the flashiest thing to talk about, to be honest with you. But ultimately, I love it. I just have so much love for the game that I will, you know, keep on building no matter what. And building through those uncertain times, for me at least, has unlocked something that has, completely changed, in terms of, understanding, and also, understanding that, not every day will be perfect, and not every, thing that I build will be perfect, but also understanding that I can focus a lot more on the inputs or the invisible work from a video that I did just recently, that bring the visible results that everyone else sees. And it's, focusing a lot more on those because I can control those, whereas the outcomes, you can't control them as much. And one of the things as well that I've realized is that having so much love for the game allows you to, just outweigh the bad times, the quote unquote bad times, because you just have so much love for the game and building that those times are just, what makes you want it even more. And maybe it's just my wiring or the way that I'm thinking, and, just the way that I am, but this has changed through time, of course. Before I used to think that, oh, like things are not going as I had expected or hoped, and I would have been like, oh, why am I even doing this? And, yes, sometimes it does creep in, to be honest with you. But I found, just locking in for me personally, and just, going deeper than ever, by remembering what is the why. Why am I making these, daily videos? Why am I doing the things that I'm doing? It's, for a purpose, that I believe is far greater than I could ever imagine, and even today, you know, because life has its curveballs, it has all its different things, but ultimately you can never fully, have this big picture vision of what you hoped it to be. It could be completely different and even better. And that outlook has also just, allowed me to just push through the days where I didn't feel like recording or just feel like building stuff, and also using the videos as somewhat of an accountability to constantly push myself and have higher a higher what is it called, a higher a higher standard for myself as well, you know, that each and every single day I'm going to show up and just produce no matter the weather, and just, do what I say, I think that is the most important thing as well, and just having so much love for the mission as well. It's mission over ego is one of the things that I've also learned a lot lately. That your ego, like, if it means that I have to, help someone else or basically make my contribution in a different way towards the mission, then it was ultimately worth it, because my main focus is, on the mission and building that forward, rather than just, collecting a check, or, just building things for the now, but building things for the future that ultimately allows, the next generation of systems and backend systems to, power more businesses into the future. And it's something that, I just realized that, there's so much value, and I want to, make a contribution in any which way. And that means, learning a lot more, failing a lot more, and just going deeper than ever before, simply because I know that the mission is, what I want to, give to the world as well, and also help, other people, and being useful, it's something that Elon Musk said, just being useful to the world. um I think that is true. That rings true so much. That by being useful to the world, you realize that it's not always about you and what you're building, but it's about what you build for others that ultimately impacts other people, whether it's in whatever shape or form, as long as it just impacts other people in ever which way. I think that's more exciting, to be honest, to be building a future that ultimately, helps other people and powers businesses as well. I think that is something that I would be super proud of, and it makes all the, the uncertain times worth it, because you realize that, you know, you're in this moment, in this time, in this phase that is, seems uncertain, but ultimately it's temporary, it's not forever. um and you're gonna, ultimately get to where you want to get to, but that requires a lot of just focus and just digging a lot deeper than ever before, and holding yourself to a high standard as well. And like I said, like, they've been countless of times, where I could give up and just say, hey, like, this is too much, and I solely just want to stop. But then remembering that there's so many people out there that will ultimately benefit from what it is that you're building, will ultimately be making it a lot worth it. Will make it a lot worth it, basically. And that is exciting. That is an exciting future, to wake up and say, hey, I'm going to be building this, and this is ultimately going to impact so many people in so many different ways, and it's ultimately going to create value. And I think that's what it should be about, you know, even in the times where you don't have anyone clapping, or you don't have anyone, doing whatever the case, I don't know, whatever, just showing up each and every single day. And my main focus for the videos was never to get views or to get anything. And so far, like, I'm super happy with how things have gone, even if I was the only person that was watching the videos, you know I would be super proud, of what we've been able to do, but also what we've been able to build on the back end as well, you know, using that to power, our way of thinking and our way of execution, and winning on that front on the back end, that ultimately allows us to show the visible results. I think that's what makes it worth it, you know. And I'll be going deeper than ever before, even on days I may not feel like recording. I think it's worth it long term to just keep on sticking at it, and also being a source of truth or inspiration. Not even inspiration, but being a source of if I can do it, anyone else can do it. And that's what pushes me each and every single day as well. Just showing up each and every single day and knowing that the mission is far greater and far more exciting than you could ever imagine. And if you get to be at the forefront of building it, then that's even better. And I think it gets you through those days where you feel like giving up, but you ultimately cannot. You just have to just build through those uncertain times. And for me, I've realized that I found more joy in building through those times where I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know, hey, was this going to work out or not? But it's, just building through that ultimately matters and just gets the results. And I think it's one of the most important things that I've learned, over the past few months and weeks, months, years, and through that, it's ultimately built a lot. And I know we're gonna build a lot of cool things into the future, and it'll be super cool as well if they impact other people in whatsoever way. But I think that's exciting. I think that's a future that is exciting to wake up to, and exciting to build, and just keep on going. I think, and yeah, building, building, and finding strength through that as well. That the mission, you know, is the most important things. Everything else would be a byproduct of that. But just focusing on the mission and being in love with the game. Like, I love the game. Just building each and every single day makes me happy. And I feel motivated. I'm not motivated, but I feel super, super, excited, to just build and just do stuff. Even if we're getting one view, even if we're getting no views, I think that's ultimately, allowed me to reach the next floor, if you will. And I've spoken about this countless times in previous videos, but yeah, it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting for sure. To just build and use these videos as a documentation that, hey, I built for a year straight, and I made videos and showed what it is that I'm thinking and also building as well. I think that's something that's worth, every penny or every whatever the case may be. But yeah, just showcasing that, and I know that we will get there. And you know, more than excited ever. I'm more excited now that we're getting 0 to 1 views or whatever the number is, because that's not the mission. The numbers, those are vanity. The metrics are vanity, but the mission is what is the indicator for what it is that we're building, and focusing on that and moving towards that each and every single day by laying the foundation, showing up through these videos. I know we're going to get there, and we're just going to build and build and build. And when we do get there, we're going to inspire millions of people, hopefully. And that'll be cool. That'll be a cool story to tell, you know. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah. Well, that's basically the thought I had. And also tying it up with the newsletter, because I wanted to just touch on that as well. I think for me, one of the most important things that I've always, enjoyed as well is creating and just building stuff. And by building stuff, I'm now just trying out a bunch of different things, but also staying focused at the same time by stacking things that ultimately are, in line with each other and not getting shiny object syndrome. Because trust me, like, I've had many opportunities throughout recording these videos where I've had times where I could have fallen into shiny object syndrome. But yeah, just gotta just focus on the inputs. The processes will happen, and ultimately the results will also come as a as a byproduct, or as a as an outflow of the inputs that you've ultimately been putting in. So more than excited, more than ready. It's gonna be super fun. I just wanted to share this video because I was super pumped, and I wanted to just come on here and just for today just have a raw, unfiltered chat, and no fancy cameras, no fancy things, just me sat here on the camera and just talking. And yeah, if you guys enjoy this video, make sure to check out my newsletter. It's the first link in the description. And also, if you want to connect with me, X, LinkedIn, Instagram. And I'll see you guys in the next video.